last month, we visited Mr. Drew and his animals too at their new home in the Lewiston Mall. The Exotic Animal Education Center saw 50,000 visitors last year, and Andrew Desjardins, or Drew, has been busy dreaming up new experiences to add into the mix.
A few weeks after our story aired, Drew shared some tough news on social media that his lease is not being extended. Not because of anything he did wrong, but because, as he was told, the center didn't fit the mall's business model moving forward.
He and his animals are now looking for a new home so he can continue his mission of rescuing and rehabilitating exotic animals. Another big part of his mission is education. The last time Drew stopped by our studio, he taught us not all boa constrictors are big.
This boa constrictor here is full grown. And it is the most boring pet in the world.
Okay.
And they hide 99% of the time. And it's called the Kenyan sand boa. And let me just get her out here. So this is a female, and she's full grown. The males are actually smaller.
Wow.
And they have this little derpy face.
That's what you saw poking up.
That is, yeah, it's meant to burrow through the sand. So they have this little flat nose, tiny eyes. And they burrow in the sand, digging under to hide.
Oh my gosh.
And they'll stick their head out as he was doing, or she was doing prior to. And that's what they'll do, is just wait for food to come by. So their head and tail look very similar.
Yeah, they do.
And so if the tail is exposed a little bit, the animal, a predator, might not know what it is.
Yeah.
But the tail, if you feel the tail, it's actually very hard as compared to the head.
Oh, wow.
So it's a good protection to keep them. And so if we place her in the sand here, we're just going to get her started here. She might not want to go.
She's like, I'm having so much fun.
Right. So a lot of times she's like, I want to get out now.
Yeah.
She would normally just burrow under the sand and want to hide. Of course, this one is used to being handled.
Yeah.
Now, they give birth to live young, so they don't lay eggs.
Oh, wow.
And again, most of the time they're just hiding in the sand.
Very
So it's
cool.
very important to learn about them, because, I mean, if you want a snake that you can see and interact with, this is really not the one.
Yeah.
She's beautiful.
She is. All right, who else do we have with you today?
All right, so let me get the cover so she doesn't get
I
out
know,
on us.
seriously. She's like, I'm not ready.
My next one
You can
is
handle that.
one that
Oh,
Good job.
perfect.
Good job.
number one fear in the world. Let me get this out here.
See, constrictors I'm good with.
There. The Goliath bird-eating tarantula.
Yeah.
Now, the bird eaters, these are not legal in Maine, and the bird eaters don't eat birds. That story got started by Robert Ripley from Ripley's Believe It or Not, because it just sounded intimidating. When he was doing these articles and stuff for syndicated newspapers, traveling the world, you know, Goliath bird-eating tarantula was just a very impressive thing. Now, there are 3 species of bird eaters, and this is the smallest of the 3, so there is 2 more bigger than this. They do feed on insects, maybe a few occasional reptiles, you know, small lizards or something like that. But they're very gentle. Now, this one is 22 years old.
Oh, wow.
They can live up to 30 years. And I tell the kids, I say, the females can live up to 30 years, and the boys only live 5. And that's because girls are smarter than boys. You know? So, and I tell the boys, the sooner you learn that, the better off you are.
Okay, I've never done this before.
Now, she's going to touch you, and, oops, you're going to touch, you got to get, there we go. See how she kind of stopped?
Yeah.
What she's doing is she's kind of smelling. It's the closest thing is smelling. She's smelling you, trying to figure out if you're going to hurt her, bother her, or anything like that. So she's actually very gentle. I'm just going to gently touch her, let her know that she can move.
Okay.
Now, if you were to drop her, she would break like an egg and die.
Okay. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So she stops like, oh, I know
Yeah.
you're safe.
Look at those little eyes.
Smart.
That's what gets me every time. This is cool.
And they're not these aggressive animals. Nobody dies from tarantulas. More people die from bee stings in the United States than spider bites worldwide. Tarantulas don't want to waste their venom on something they're not going to eat. And so they're very docile. In over 35 years I've worked with tarantulas, I've had 1 bite. And it was my fault. They just don't want to bite something they're not going to eat.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Well, hey, it was great to see you. We're going to put you away. We're going to see who else we got. We got 1 more, right?
It's not
We got
personal.
1 more.
I know. Oh,
And there we go.
She was very nice.
yeah.
Facing fears today.
Breathe deeply.
This is Dexter.
Oh.
Dexter. is a cousin of the Komodo dragon.
Oh, my goodness.
And Dexter is a Savannah monitor. And if we look, it's got the snake-like tongue.
Yeah.
That's for smelling. They can smell left or right, up or down. They can smell underground, underwater, up a tree. Dexter's a little different than most lizards. His nose, his nostrils are pointing backwards. Because these guys like to burrow, dig, termite mounds looking for bugs and things.
Yep.
And so it keeps the nose out, the dirt out of their nose.
Hey,
so when they're breathing,
great.
it goes back. Now that tongue, I always tell people, it's like, imagine if you could smell with one nostril or the other and go, I smell food over there. That's what he's doing. Yeah, their skin is incredibly thick.
Oh,
a
wow.
scorpion can't penetrate that
Nope.
skin. And even young cobras have a hard time with these guys. Now, this animal here, being related to the Komodo dragon, does have a venomous bite as well. But the venom is very mild, and that's a new discovery. They didn't know they were venomous. They just assumed it was bacteria. But they do have small venom glands.
Very
This guy can get up to 3 feet long.
Oh, wow.
So he's not our biggest lizard, but he can get some more size to him.
You? Look at these little paws.
He's very curious and
Really
he
got
loves
the,
to
the
eat.
Godzilla
what do they
claws.
eat?
Well, yeah, he
Spines.
can hold right on.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got a good grip, and they're meant for digging. They're primarily insectivores. They eat
Okay.
insects, but they will eat bird eggs and things they find, rodents and stuff like that. But their main diet is insects. And the problem with these guys is most people overfeed them, and they feed them fatty objects that just obesity is the #1 killer for this particular species.
Cool little lizard there, and I'm proud of David.
Because he was petrified.
He is terrified of spiders. He did great.
Who would have guessed that the #1 threat to that monitor is obesity?
I know.
Welcome to America.
I mean, sadly. Yeah, that's where we're at. By the way, Drew shared an update on social media just this week about the progress being made to find a new home for his center. He says he's hopeful, and he's already been contacted by 5 different communities that want to help.
Drew will be closing his doors to the public June 30th and will need to be out of the Lewiston Mall by July 31st. We will, of course, share updates as they come in, and you can also find more information about Mr. Drew and his animals, too, on our website and app.